Hello, hello. Hopefully we are live. It is Tuesday, July 12th, believe it or not. And we are doing a Facebook Live today to talk about a whole lot of things. I know that a lot of you have come over from Pat Sloan's blog tour. We're talking about her new beautiful fabric line. So I'm going to be showing you those fabrics and some of the projects that I made with that. We just have a lot of really fun things going on today. Lots and lots of really pretty things to show you. And I don't if you're like me, you just, like seeing something pretty just kind of like inspires you to just kind of like go and make something with your hands. So that's another reason we want to do this today and show you a lot of pretty things and hopefully kind of get you into your sewing room and get you inspired to make something pretty today. So we would love to see and read your comments. So comment here in the Facebook post. Maybe let us know where you are tuning in from or what you're working on today. That would be great. We'd love to hear from you. So one of the things that we're going to be talking about is, as I said, Pat's new fabric line, which is called Bird Song for Benartex, and it's beautiful, and I've made a couple of samples. Now, you can get, I'm going to show you the wall hanging that I made. You can get the pattern for the wall hanging for free this week, and it's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. So first, I'm just going to show that to you so you'll know what I'm talking about. So this is the wall hanging, and it's hand embroidered, and the quote on it says, "The world is full of kind people. If you can't find one, be one." And gosh, isn't that a nice saying that we all kind of need nowadays when, let's face it, people on social media can be a little bit grumpy sometimes, cranky. So sometimes we need a little reminder, that maybe we're the ones who are going to need to be the kind ones sometimes. So, oh, my little hook fell off. So this, as I said, it's hand embroidered. So when this is all done, I'm going to put all of the links to everything that I talk about. I'm going to put that in the description to this video so you can just click over and find everything really, really easy. So you sign up to get the free wall hanging. It includes the wall hanging pattern and the embroidery pattern, and we've got some free tutorials to show you how to do hand embroidery. So if you're a complete newbie and you've always wanted to learn hand embroidery, this will be a great way to find out about hand embroidery. Another thing I wanted to point out is this quilt, this little quilt wall hanging has, look at this, prairie points. Can you see those? They're kind of dimensional. They're super cute. They're really, really easy to do. A lot of people tell me, oh, I've never made prairie points. I don't even know how to do them. Really easy to do. This is a great project, again, to start with if you've never done prairie points, because I will tell you that the diagrams in this, in the pattern for this, super, super easy to follow. You're going to have no problem at all making the prairie points for this project. So, oh, and we have the little hanger and the little clips, which make it so convenient to, hang and change out your wall hanging. We do have those available if you want them. If you're like me and you've got like little quilts sitting around and you kind of don't know what to do with them or how to display them, or you want to be able to change them out really easy with the season, the little hanger with the clips is super, super convenient. So I will put the link when we're done here. I will put the link in. So if you want to pick up the little hanger and clips, you can do that. So let's talk about the fabric because it's so pretty. There's this really cute, I'm going to zoom, I'm going to hold this up closer. There's this really, really pretty floral. I just love the colors in this floral. And then there's this little tiny dot, and there's like a tonal green, and then the blue. It's really super, super pretty. I had sketched out, I live in the northeastern United States. I live pretty close to an Amish community in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And there's a primitive art form in southeastern Pennsylvania called fractor. It's a lot of like birds and flowers, tulips, and that kind of thing. And it's, they find samples from, early 1700s. Very primitive, but I've always just really been attracted to it and love that. So I had some ideas sketched out for this design. Didn't really know what I was going to do with them. And then Pat showed me her new fabric line, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. That's exactly what I need to do these projects. So that's kind of how this came about, was that I had the idea, and then the perfect fabric came along at the perfect time. So I'm going to show you that fabric. One more thing I want to point out about this sample before I put it down is we've got, can you see that there's like some color, some tinting in there? I did some fabric painting for that. And if you're a member of the Art of Home Club, which I'll talk about in a little while, but in the Art of Home Club we have lots and lots of tutorials, and one of the things we teach you is how to do this kind of fabric painting where you just get kind of a light tint to your fabric. So this is you're going to get the whole pattern if you go over. I'm going to give you the link. You'll click over and you can get this free pattern for the wall hanging and the embroidery, and you're also going to get all of the video tutorials for learning how to do hand embroidery. So let me just set this aside for a second. Yeah, I can hang it right here. Okay, so let's talk about the fabric, because I've been telling you how pretty the fabric is. So as I mentioned, this is Pat Sloan's Birdsong fabric for Benner Tex, and I just, look at this floral. I'm going to open it up. Now it's been cut into because we use it for borders and things, but can you see like the little birds on there? And there's a couple of different colorways. I'm mostly working for the quilt and my samples. I mostly did the pinks. There's blues and greens too. But can you see how pretty the little birds are in this? I mean, they're just so, so pretty. I just love it. So this is like the main big floral for this. And then we've got some little florals. As I mentioned, there's a blue and a pink, and then another kind of like a little floral toss with little hearts and butterflies in it. And there's another one with some butterflies and flowers, and there it is in the blue. And then you've got some tonal prints. You've got the blue, you've got the little blue dot. This is the cream that I used for the backgrounds on all my applique and embroidery blocks. So it's like a floral print, white on cream. You probably can't see it, but it's really pretty. Let's see, more of the green, a couple more greens. There's this fun kind of a stripe with like pink and gold in it. And there's the blue and green stripes. So they're really, really, really pretty, as I mentioned. I was just so happy to get a chance to work with this fabric because it was just perfect for this project. So what I wanted to show you next is the quilt that I made to go with it. So let me preface this by saying that the wall hanging is actually a part of a collection for the Art of Home Club. So the Art of Home Club is our membership, and members get club member exclusive patterns every month. So this is the very first time ever that we have made just a little snippet, one of our collections, available to the public, because I wanted you to see, one, I wanted you to get a chance to work with Pat's fabric and make the sample just the way I made it. I'm going to give you the link if you want to purchase fabric. You'll have the link for that too, where you can find it. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to be able to make the sample with the fabric the way I had made it. But I also wanted to give you a chance to kind of see one of the projects that we make in the Art of Home Club. So the wall hanging is just part of that. And as I mentioned, it has hand embroidery. This is, and I'm going to show you the quilt. So in the collection, there's going to be the wall hanging pattern, a quilt pattern, and a table runner pattern. And there's going to be 5 hand embroidery patterns and 5 applique patterns. So if you don't want to do the hand embroidery, if you're a member of the club and you don't want to do the hand embroidery, you can do the applique instead. Or you can even mix and match and do some of each. So this is the quilt, and I'm going to hold it up so hopefully you can see a lot of it. And so there's 4 applique blocks on here, and they all, again, that fractal theme, birds, flowers, tulips. This also has the prairie points at the bottom, right there, if you can see the little dimension that the prairie points add. And it's got this really beautiful floral, again, that floral that I love with the birds for the border. And then I don't know how well you could see the individual applique blocks. I will hold it again. And I'll flip it over so you can see the top 4. And again, if you're a club member, you can choose either applique or embroidery, hand embroidery. And there are 5 designs, and there are 5 applique and embroidery designs, and then, but there's 4 designs in this project, so you can just pick your favorite 4 that you like to do. And we always do that with the Art of Home Club, is you always get multiple options. So if the project calls for 4 different applique designs or 4 different hand embroidery designs, you get at least 5, sometimes up to 8. I think we might have even done a couple collections that had like 9 different options. So you can totally just pick out all of your favorite things to make the projects. So you do have the opportunity this week. We only open the club a few times a year. It's not open all the time to new members. So this week we do have it open to new members. So that is the really pretty quilt that goes with this collection. I'm sorry, what was the question?
I was just at the cost.
Oh, people want to know the cost. It is $10.95 a month, and that's US. And it is so you get so much more than $10.95 a month, because you get not only your monthly collection, which has multiple projects. It's usually at least 3 projects, multiple applique and embroidery projects that go, or patterns that go with that. We show you how to mix and match with other collections, which I will show you in a minute. So that way, like, you know, you're not essentially, once you have a few collections in your membership library, you don't just have like one quilt that you can make with this. Like, I'll show you how you can mix and match with other designs in the club. There's tons of tutorials. There's tons and tons of bonus projects. We do club member swaps a couple times a year. Sometimes, I think the last one we did was pin cushions. We swapped pin cushions. We've done mug rugs, Christmas ornaments. And those are optional. People say, oh, do I have to do the swap? Nope, you don't. It's optional, but I can tell you that our club members really love doing it. And that's open to international members too. If you're international, not in the United States, and you want to do a swap, you can do the swaps with us, and it's a lot of fun. So were there any other questions before I move on and start talking about some other things? Any other? No? Okay. I will just keep talking then. So since we're talking about club things, and I mentioned mixing and matching, so these blocks on the wall hanging and the quilt I just showed you, I think they're 8 by 16. So applique and embroidery are 8 by 16. So I wanted to show you a couple of previous club collections that also have 8 by 16 blocks. So we have this table runner, which we did, I think this might have been 2020. 2020 or 21, I forget. I've done almost 70 collections now for the club, so I start to forget like which ones were which. But if you can see, it's an 8 by 16 block, and they were all different. There's the little basket patterns. So if you say, oh, well, you know, the birds really aren't my style, but I really like these little baskets, you can take the baskets and put them in this quilt instead, and do it whatever colors you want. Or vice versa, you really like the birds, but you really like this wall hanging pattern with this center block. You could take the bird patterns from the Fractor collection that I just showed you and put it in this one. And then I'll show you the quilt that we did with this collection. So this is really fun. So the piece blocks are kind of like, it's a courthouse steps block, but instead of like typically they're square, we did them rectangular. So again, if you wanted to take some of those Fractor blocks and put them in here in this quilt, you could do that. And you don't have to just do the applique. Remember, you also have the hand embroidery options as well. So that's one collection that you can mix and match your Fractor collection with. And then we did one called Cold Hands, Warm Heart. So there's the little polar bear, but if you wanted to do it in different colors, you could do a Fractor block in here. And this was a mystery sew along. So this one actually this one has 4 blocks. There's a polar bear, there's a penguin on skates. I forget what the other 2 theme. Oh, yeah, they're right here on the quilt. I can show them to you. But like you could take these blocks and put them in that Fractor quilt, or the little wall hanging that I showed you. So here's the quilt that goes with this one. And for each collection, we always give you ideas for how to mix and match. Like we'll tell you which collections are the same size as that one so that you can mix and match them really easy. So let's talk about how this actually works. So if you join today or this week, you wouldn't automatically say, get this one. This is Cold Hands, Warm Heart. But The previous collections are only available to club members. So if you write to me today and say, hey, I just like that cold hands pattern with the polar bear on it, can I get that? If you are not a club member, that is not available to you. It is only available to club members. But if you sign up for the club, you have the option of buying these a la carte, and you can just add them to your library as you go. You know, you see something you really like that you don't have in your library yet, you can just purchase that and add it to your library. So if you were to join this week, this fract, you would get the wall hanging immediately, obviously, but then like the quilt and the table runner pattern that are going to go with this will come out on July 20th. So just in about a week, because all of our collections get released on the 20th of every month. So that's how that works. Let's see. Are there any questions right now before I?
Applique patterns, actual size.
Okay, so the applique patterns, that's going to vary according to the collections. We have collections that have block sizes anywhere from 4-inch.
Oh, do you have to enlarge them?
Oh no, they're always provided to you at the correct size that you will need. So if the project calls for a 6-inch applique, those applique and embroidery patterns will be sized for you at 6 inches. If it calls for an 8-inch, they will be sized for you at 8 inches. These 8x16 ones, they will come at 8x16 inches for whatever size you want. Now, yeah, because they're 8x11, 8.5x11 sheets of paper, they'll be in 2 pieces, and we put a little dotted line on there, and you just line up your dotted lines and tape together. It's really easy to tape them together. You don't have to cut anything out or anything like that. I should mention that it's all digital. You don't get mailed anything. These are all just PDF downloads. So as soon as we put a collection out, you can immediately go into your club website and just download everything. And actually what's really fun was the wall hanging pattern is just available to the public. We just put it out today, but we put it out over the weekend for our club members, and we have club members who already completed the entire embroidery. So because they were really excited about it. So that's a fun thing, is that club members sometimes get like little treats and things early and stuff. Something else that club members get early is when we're doing our block of the months, like this one you see behind me. They always get their patterns a little bit early. So since we're talking about this, I will say that we are getting ready to start the Secret Fairy Garden block of the month. This is a free block of the month. So you just come over to the website, you sign up, and then starting on July 25th, which is only like 2 weeks away, on the last Monday of every month, you're going to get one of the blocks. I think, which one was the first one? I think this is the first one. And then the little strawberries and the little strawberry mushroom down here will be block number 2, so this will be August. This one with the flowers is September, that's block 3. Block 4 would be the little fairy block, and then I think it's October when we wrap it up and we add all of the borders. So again, you can get the pattern free just for signing up. All those patterns will be delivered to your inbox. If you're a club member, you don't have to sign up. They're automatically added to the club website, so they're right there for you. You don't have to go looking for, emails and things like that. And we do have some kits left. Actually, I've got some right. Now the kit is optional for the little fairy block of the month. You can either do an applique or embroidery option, which will be included in the free patterns. We also have some kits which have these pre-printed panels included in the kit. So there's 2 choices of kit, but that's optional. If you have fabric that you would in your stash that you would like to use, you're certainly free to do that. The pattern is free, so you do not need to purchase fabric to do the project with us, but it is available if you would like it to be. We also have some, I don't have them in front of me, some really cute little matching quilt labels. So maybe buying the whole kit isn't in your budget, but you want a little something to go with your quilt, you can pick up the quilt labels, which are very inexpensive and really fun. They coordinate. So do we have any other questions before I talk about our bonus this week? Isn't this a pretty cup? I got this in Florida when I was visiting my daughter, and I love it.
What is the smallest size of patterns?
Smallest size of patterns. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. If you mean the embroidery and the applique patterns, the smallest we ever go is 4 inches. But that's pretty small. We don't do those a lot. Most of them, honestly, are like 8-inch. 6, 8 inches, I would say, is the average. If they're talking about the block of the month, these are 4 inches and these are 8 inches. So I hope that answers your question.
We have a couple people asking about if they have we have yearly payments.
We do not have yearly payments. It is month to month. However, you can cancel at any time. So you're not locked into, you're not committed to staying for a certain amount of time. You just sign up for your 1095 and then you can stay as long as you like. We find that we have a very, very high retention rate, meaning that most people who sign up end up staying with us in our club for many years. We've had our club going for 5.5 years, and we still have members who have been with us that entire 5.5 years. So that means they've got a huge library because, as I mentioned, we've done almost 70 collections so far. So those people who have been with us, our Main Street members, the founding members, they have almost 70 collections in their club library. So, oh my gosh, imagine all the like mixing and matching fun that they are having because there's just so much for them. You know, sometimes we might do a pattern that's like done in a lot of pinks and maybe you don't like pink or you want to make something for a boy. So you could grab one of the patterns that has like animals on it and do more like blues and greens and browns. We recently did a turtle quilt, and we did that in 2 different colorways. We did like a pink and an orange, and then a blue and a green and a brown, and it worked great for either boys or girls. So we always try to give you lots and lots of options in the club. That's really what our membership is about, is helping you to be a designer and kind of giving you the tools to do that. So we never expect or ask you to make something exactly like the sample. But we also don't want to kind of, you know, throw a pattern at you and let you loose and be like, okay, you know, go have fun. We want you to have fun, but we try to give you lots of ideas and guidance as to, oh, look, you know, we did the sample in pink, but here's what it might look like in blue. Or, you know, that mixing and matching I was showing you a little while ago. You know, here's what it would look like if you took the polar bear and penguin blocks and you put it in this quilt instead of the bird fractor blocks, you know. So we always try to give you lots and lots of options for making the projects. Because we want you to make the kinds of projects that you love, and we want to give you the tools to do that. So that's our goal in the Art of Home Club. So another special bonus, you're going to love these samples I'm going to show you now. If you sign up this week, your bonus is going to be the Bees and Honey collection, which was from May. So it's kind of like you're getting a free month's membership when you get this bonus. These designs are like some of I said I've done almost 70 collections, and I have a lot of favorites, but I will tell you that this collection may be like in my top 5 of all the collections that I've done, and we're doing this as a bonus. So I will show you. There's a little mini wall hanging that I did. This is with fabric painting that I talked about and embroidery. I embroidered around the edges after I did the fabric painting. Came out really cute. So you get that. And there's this little mini table runner. And this one was done with machine applique. And look how darn cute these blocks are. This is just like a nice little size, because sometimes table runners can be a little bit too big. They take up too much space. This one even would fit on like a coffee table, or you know, you could even put it on an end table and just have like the little end with the triangle kind of draped over the front or the side of the end table in your bedroom or your living room. So aren't the triangles on the ends of that fun? They just kind of add a little something extra. So that's a cute one. And then we have the little topper. It's octagonal, where we just cut off the corners again and made this. I love an octagonal table topper because sometimes those corners kind of get in the way. They're kind of like always in your way, you know? You always feel like you're trying to push them back out of the way. You chop off those corners and you got nothing in your way, and it just, you know, kind of is the centerpiece of your table. So lots of cute blocks on this one. And as I mentioned, I think there were 6. Look at that. This is one of my favorite ones, the little teacup. I think we had 6 applique and 6 embroidery patterns for this one. So, yeah, so you only need 4. So you pick your favorite 4 out of the 6. So again, if you join this week, you're going to get this immediately. You're going to get the bees and honey immediately. You're going to have your wall hanging, your kind words fractor wall hanging pattern to work with. You're going to have tons and tons and tons of bonus projects and designs on the club website, along with all the tutorials. And then something that we're doing right now is we're doing a mystery sew-along. So every year in the club, for, I don't know, probably about the last 4, maybe 5 years, we've done a mystery sew-along. And what that means is, you, in addition to your regular collection, which you get every single month, we will do a sew-along, kind of like a block of the month, where you just get a little part of it each month, and you kind of know a little bit about what the project is going to look like, but maybe not the whole thing. So this was one of our mystery sew-alongs a couple of years ago, where we did, like, we released the 4 big blocks, 1 per month, and then we did, I think we did the red blocks 1 month, we did the green blocks 1 month, and then the last month we did all of the borders and things. So that's an example of one of the mystery sew-alongs. This year, we are right in the middle of our mystery sew-along called Happy Homes, and it has a seasonal theme. So it has a block for winter, spring, summer, and fall. And we have released all of the blocks except for winter so far. So if you join this week, you're going to be able to jump right in and you're going to get these patterns right away too. And I actually don't have a lot to show you right now because most of this is out with the sample maker, and she is putting it all together for us. So I only have one little block to show you. This one was done again with the fabric painting and the hand embroidery. This was our fall block. The sample for the little quilt I actually did with applique, but I just wanted to kind of give you an idea. And the website has a few more preview photos if you want to see like what the applique looked like and get an idea of what the finished quilt is going to look like. It's not a total surprise, so it's not. We've done mystery sew-alongs where the quilt was a total surprise. People had no idea what they were going to be making. And we asked our members, and most people said they'd like to have some idea of what they're making. So we kind of try to find a happy medium where we show you kind of like a snippet of what it's going to be. You're going to get an idea of what it's going to be. It helps you, pick out your fabrics and stuff, but you don't know exactly what it's going to look like until the end. So this is the mystery sew-along. And again, join this week. You can jump right in on this and start making your blocks. And do we have a question?
Someone was asking if you can wash something that you've done the fabric painting on.
Yes, we use acrylic paint, which is pretty fast, color fast. I recommend that you hit it with a hot iron. That also kind of helps to set the color. I don't think I would do it on something that's going to get tons and tons of laundering. Like if it's a kid's quilt that you're going to be washing like every week, I don't think I would do it. But if it's something that's going to be a wall hanging, a table runner that's only going to get occasional washing, then yes, it's fine.
And Karen wants a unicorn collection.
Karen wants a unicorn collection. Okay. We do sometimes, we take suggestions from our club members, and we do have some collections that we have done that were just awesome ideas from our club members. So we may be, who knows, we may be doing a unicorn collection in the future. Thank you for that suggestion.
My granddaughter loves them.
And our granddaughter loves unicorns too. So if we do a unicorn quilt, she will have her name on that one. And then going back to the fabric painting, there's everything I think I showed you today was this one type of fabric painting where it has just like this soft tinting to it. There's a couple of different ways you can do fabric painting. There are also techniques where you can have like a solid block of color here. We show you how to do that. We also do crayon tinting, which is kind of like a similar look to this. So there are several ways to do tinting of your fabric, and again, that's just one of the ways that we're trying to help you to be creative. So, you're looking at a project like, say, this bee. I mean, think about all the different ways you could do this. You could do it just with the embroidery. You could do it with fabric painting like this with the tinting. You could do it with crayon tinting with the embroidery. You could do like solid blocks of color with fabric painting with embroidery. We've even got a way that you can do the outlines if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to embroider the outlines. There's other ways to do the outline of the fabric painting. You could do it with crayon tinting, or you also have the applique options. So there's always lots and lots of options for making all of your projects, because that's the idea. I will also show you one other collection I can show you, which will be coming up in the future. And this one's, I'm not sure yet if this is either going to be August or October. But this is like a Christmas holiday theme collection, which will be coming up. So we've got our little applique ice skate. And then we've got some, these were done with crayon tinting and hand embroidery. So we've got a little wreath. We've got this mitten that says warm winter wishes. And we've got this one that says joy. So these are for an upcoming Art of Home collection. Any other questions?
Crayon tinting, is that color fast also?
It is pretty color fast because those tints and those crayons, if you know what, if you've ever had a kid get crayon on your sofa or your chair, it's pretty hard to get out. Again, it's one of those things, if something's going to get lots and lots of laundering, I wouldn't guarantee that it's not going to fade. I don't think the color will come out like 100%, but it probably would fade with multiple launderings. But if it's something that's just going to get laundered once in a while, I think you're okay.
And someone says they actually use colorless extender to make it more permanent for colored pencils.
Oh, okay. Cool idea.
Someone
okay.
wants to know I'm not sure, do you have something the size of the fairy block? I love all the other blocks. Maybe they don't like the fairy.
Oh, well, what you could do is, if you didn't want to do the fairy, you could just duplicate, you could have like 2 of the flower designs and maybe just do it a different color. If you're a member of the Art of Home Club, you're going to have lots and lots. It's an 8-inch block. So if you're a member of the club, there would be lots and lots of options of things that you could do there. Different kinds of flowers. We have had other collections with mushrooms in them. So butterfly would be cute there. So yeah, you'd have lots of ideas for how to do that. Okay, so I think if there aren't any other questions right now, because I know that you all wanted to know about
how do we sign up for the kind words.
Okay, that's actually what I was just going to talk about. So we're going to put a link in here to a blog post for the blog tour today, for Pat's blog tour. And that's going to have a few different things in it. One, at the top, it's going to have a little box where you put your email, and you put your email in that, and then you are going to immediately get an email with the pattern for that kind words wall hanging. And I always say it, and I'll say it again, if you don't get the email, there's a 99.99% chance that, one, maybe you misspelled your email, so just check and make sure that you don't have a typo in there. 2, lots and lots of stuff goes to spam. That's just the way it is. There's unfortunately nothing we can do about that from our end. So, and we answer all of our emails, so if you send us a question or something and you don't get a response, please check your spam folder. Or if you have Gmail, there's something called Gmail promotions. It might be in the promotions folder. But anyway, so if you're going to sign up for that free pattern, it will come to you in your email. You'll also get some other information about other fun things we have going on, like the free blog of the month that we have going on right now. Also in that blog post, you're going to have a link where you can purchase if you want to, purchase this really pretty fabric by Pat Sloan called Birdsong. So there will be a link in the blog post to that. That's also where you're going to enter our giveaway. So if you'd like to enter the giveaway, you just go to that blog post, read the instructions for entering the giveaway. You have to comment on that blog post. Don't comment on this Facebook Live. You can comment. We love to hear your comments, but to enter the giveaway, all of the comments, your comment needs to be on that blog post. So
scroll all the way
if you
bottom.
yes, it's at the bottom. So because we have a lot of things that we're talking about in that blog post. So and if you want to leave a comment, we've gotten a couple of emails. People had trouble finding where to leave the comment. Unfortunately, the way the page is set up is You're going to see a bunch of comments there. You just scroll down to the bottom. And at the bottom of the page, underneath the previous comments, there will be a box to put your comment in. So, yeah, that's how you're going to enter the giveaway. And the prizes for the giveaway are, if you're a U.S. resident, it's a layer cake, which a 10 inch, I always forget what the pre-cuts are, 10-inch squares, I believe, of the birdsong fabric, which you could do a lot of pretty things with, that layer cake. If you're international, it's going to be an Aurifil thread collection, which is also really, really pretty. Beautiful colors in that one. So I think that's it, right, as far as what's over in that blog post. And we will put the link in the description to this video. So you can just, as soon as this is over, we'll put that link in, and you just click on that, and it'll take you right over to the blog post and have all kinds of information. It'll also have information for if you're interested in joining the club and getting the things that I talked about, like the beautiful quilts, the bee bonus projects, the mystery sew along, and all the other things that I talked about that our club members get each month. So let's see if there's any other questions before we sign off for the day. What time is it? Ooh, I've been talking for over half an hour.
When is the drawing?
When is the drawing? Okay, good question. You have until Monday at midnight. So next Monday, the 18th at midnight Eastern time, which is New York City time. And we will be pulling the winner next Tuesday. Tuesday, I guess that's the 19th is when we will pull that winner. And we will email the winner. So again, make sure that your email address is correct, because if we try to email you, if we pull your name and we try to email you and we can't reach you after a couple days, we have to go ahead and pull another winner.
And Pat will be mailing them.
And Pat, the fabric company or Aurifil will be mailing the prize directly to the winner.
Any other questions? Any
other questions before we sign off for the day? Guess we don't have any other questions. All right. Well, I'm so glad you guys all joined me today. It's been great talking to you. Like I said, we have a lot going on. So, this video will be available for a replay. So if you feel like you missed something, you can go back and watch it again. If you saw something really pretty that you want to see again, you can go back and watch it again. As soon as we're done here, we're going to put all those links into the description. So just refresh your page to find, and all of those links that you are looking for will be in that description.
Email us if you've got questions.
And you can email us if you have questions, comments at jacquelinesteves.com. And that email is also in the top of this post in the description area. So I think that's it. Have a really great day. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had fun seeing all these projects. I hope it inspired you to get over into your sewing room. Go and make something pretty.
Someone's asking if we have kits left. Yes.
Oh, for the Secret Fairy Block of the Month. Yes, we do have some kits left. They are selling quickly, but we have, in previous years, we have sold out really quickly. So we made some more this year than usual, but they're selling pretty well. So if you want to be guaranteed to have it, and especially if you want it, we start July 25th. So order it now so that you will have it in plenty of time to start that block of the month with us on the 25th. That it? Okay. All right. Well, thank you again for joining me. Have a really great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.